What happens when we leave our worldly possessions behind without a solid plan? Chaos, disputes, and heartbreak, right? That's precisely why estate planning is so crucial. It's the process of anticipating and arranging the management and disposal of a person's estate during their life and at and after death, while minimizing gift, estate, generation skipping transfer, and income tax. Estate planning includes planning for incapacity as well as a process of reducing or eliminating uncertainties over the administration of a probate and maximizing the value of the estate by reducing taxes and other expenses. The ultimate goal is to preserve the maximum amount of wealth possible for the intended beneficiaries and flexibility for the individual prior to death. It's a critical task that, if ignored or mismanaged, can lead to disputes and heartbreak amongst those left behind. One such example of estate mismanagement is the legendary Bob Hope. Let's delve into his life and learn from his mistakes. Born in 1903, Bob Hope started life with the name Leslie Towns Hope in London. In the early years, Bob lived in a world far removed from the glittering lights of Hollywood. As the fifth of 7 sons, his family's humble beginnings in England didn't hint at the legendary status he would one day achieve. His father was a stonemason, and his mother a concert singer who instilled in her children a love for music and performance. In 1908, the Hopes packed their dreams and hopes into suitcases and crossed the ocean to start a new life in the United States. They settled in Cleveland, Ohio, where young Bob began to explore his passion for the stage. He took on odd jobs, including selling newspapers and working as a butcher's assistant to support his family and fund his dreams. From vaudeville to the silver screen, Bob Hope's career spanned more than 7 decades. Now that's quite a time, isn't it? A boy who kicked off his career in early vaudeville, dancing and performing comedy on stages across the country, soon became a household name. Yes, we're talking about the one and only Bob Hope. His talent for making people laugh led him to a successful career on Broadway by the late 20s. Hope's charisma, wit, and knack for humor were irresistible. He was like a magnet, attracting all the right kind of attention, and Broadway was just the beginning. As the 30s rolled in, Hope's career took a turn towards the radio. His distinct voice, quick wit, and warm persona made him a favorite among listeners. He hosted his own radio show, The Pepsodent Show starring Bob Hope, which ran for an impressive 16 years. While juggling his radio career, Hope made his way to Hollywood. His first major film, The Big Broadcast of 1938, introduced what would become his signature song, Thanks for the Memory. The song won an Academy Award, and Hope's film career took off. He starred in a series of successful comedic road films alongside Bing Crosby and Dorothy Lamour. These films were a hit, making Hope one of the biggest movie stars of the 40s and 50s. From Road to Singapore to Road to Hong Kong, Hope's charm and comedic timing were simply unbeatable. But it wasn't only the silver screen and airwaves where Hope shone. He was also well known for his numerous USO tours, entertaining American troops stationed overseas. Throughout 4 wars, from World War II to the Gulf War, Hope dedicated his time and talent to bring a slice of home and a good laugh to the soldiers serving their country. Bob Hope's career was adorned with numerous awards and accolades. He received more than 50 honorary awards, including 5 Special Academy Awards, the Congressional Gold Medal, and even a knighthood from Queen Elizabeth II. His star shone brightly in the Hollywood Walk of Fame, not once but 4 times, each star representing his contribution to radio, television, film, and live performance. And let's not forget, he was the host of Academy Awards a record 17 times, a feat that remains unbeaten to this day. Bob Hope's remarkable career is a testament to his talent, perseverance, and charm. He brought laughter and joy to millions of people, both at home and on the battlefield. His legacy is etched in the annals of entertainment history, and his influence continues to be felt today. Hope's success earned him not only fame, but also a significant fortune. A fortune that would later be the center of a family feud. But we'll get to that in a bit. For now, let's remember Bob Hope for the star that he was, a star that still shines brightly in our hearts. Despite his fame, Bob Hope was also a dedicated family man. Behind the laughter and the limelight, he was a man deeply committed to his wife and children. Let's take a moment to delve into this lesser-known side of Bob Hope. In 1934, Bob Hope married Dolores Reed, a singer he met during a nightclub performance in New York. Their union was a rarity in Hollywood, lasting for an impressive 69 years, until Bob's death in 2003. Dolores was his rock, his confidant, and his steady beacon amid the tumultuous waves of show business. Together they adopted 4 children: Linda, Kelly, Nora, and Anthony. Bob Hope was known to be a doting father. Despite his demanding career, he always found time to be present in his children's lives, attending school events and family dinners. He was a firm believer in the importance of family values and strived to instill these in his children. His home was often filled with the laughter of his children, the melody of Dolores's songs, and the love they all shared. Friends and colleagues often remarked on the warmth and sincerity that filled the Hope residence. It was a sanctuary from the glitz and glamour of Hollywood, a place where Bob could simply be a husband and father. But it wasn't all sunshine and roses. Like any family, the Hopes had their share of disagreements and difficulties. However, they faced them together, united in their love for each other. Bob Hope, the man who brought laughter to millions, found his greatest joy in the smiles of his wife and children. Bob Hope's life was a testament to the fact that fame and family can coexist. It's a balancing act, a juggling act, but one that he managed with grace and humor. He may have been a star to the world, but to his family he was simply Dad or Bob. But as we'll see, his family was also the center of a major dispute after his death. His family life, so full of love and laughter, would later become a battleground, a stark reminder of the importance of careful estate planning. But more on that in the next scenes. After Bob Hope's death in 2003, his vast estate became a contentious issue. The legendary comedian, known for his sharp wit and affable nature, left behind an empire built over a career spanning nearly 8 decades. But with the passing of the patriarch, the Hope family found themselves embroiled in a bitter dispute over his considerable assets. Bob Hope's estate, a symbol of his success and hard work, was estimated to be worth over $500 million at the time of his death. It comprised of real estate holdings, investments, valuable memorabilia from his long career, and a treasure trove of intellectual property rights from his works. His substantial wealth, however, served as a lightning rod for discord within the family. The major parties involved in this feud were his immediate family members, his 4 adopted children, Linda, Anthony, Kelly, and Nora. Each had their own ideas about how their father's legacy should be handled and preserved. This divergence in viewpoints was the initial spark that ignited the feud. Linda, the eldest, believed that the estate should be used to continue her father's philanthropic endeavors. She argued that Bob was a generous man, and it would be fitting to use his wealth to better the lives of others. Anthony, on the other hand, contended that their father's wealth should be divided equally among the 4 siblings. He saw it as their rightful inheritance, and believed that they should have the freedom to use their share as they saw fit. Kelly, the 3rd of the Hope children, was more interested in preserving their father's legacy. He proposed that a portion of the estate be used to establish a museum dedicated to Bob's life and career. Nora, the youngest, was caught in the middle. She agreed with Linda's philanthropic vision, but also sympathized with Anthony's desire for an equal share. The disagreements didn't end there. There were heated debates over specific assets. Who would get the stunning Toluca Lake home, a popular Hollywood landmark? Who would have the rights to Bob Hope's film and television library, a collection that spanned over 6 decades? Each question opened a new battleground for the Hope family. The family's lawyers were brought in to mediate, but their attempts to find common ground were futile. The disagreements only intensified, pulling the family further apart. The once close siblings found themselves on opposite sides of a widening chasm, their relationship strained by the weight of their father's legacy. Unfortunately, the battle was just beginning. As the estate feud wore on, it became clear that the disagreements were about more than just money and assets. It was about preserving a legacy, about honoring a father's wishes, and about defining the future of the Hope family. And with no clear resolution in sight, the feud threatened to overshadow the memory of the man they all admired and loved, Bob Hope. The feud over Bob Hope's estate continued for years, causing much strife within his family. The disputes over the legendary entertainer's fortune were not just about the money, but also about the legacy and the memories tied to it. The aftermath of Bob Hope's passing was a battleground, with legal battles waged for control of his vast estate. The glittering wealth he accumulated over his lifetime from his successful career in television and film, became a double-edged sword. It was a testament to his hard work and talent, but it also became a source of conflict and division among those he left behind. The disputes were not simple either. They involved complex legal issues and varying interpretations of his will. What made matters worse was the fact that these disputes were not just confined to courtrooms. They spilled over into the public arena, casting a dark shadow over the memory of a man who brought joy and laughter to millions. The impact on the family was profound. Relationships were strained, with members pitted against each other. The unity that Bob Hope had worked so hard to foster in his lifetime seemed to crumble in the face of the disputes. And the emotional toll, it was immeasurable. The family was not just fighting over material wealth, but also over the intangible legacy of their beloved patriarch. How did it get to this point? It's a question that lingers in the air. Could things have been different? Perhaps if there had been clearer communication about his wishes or a more comprehensive estate plan, the family might have been spared this ordeal. But it's not just about pointing fingers or assigning blame. It's about understanding the importance of estate planning and the repercussions when it's overlooked. The disputes over Bob Hope's estate serve as a stark reminder of the potential for conflict when a loved one's wishes are not clearly communicated or understood. It's a tough lesson, but a necessary one. It forces us to confront the reality that we all have to face someday. It compels us to think about our own legacy, our own families, and what we would want for them when we're gone. It's a wake-up call, urging us to take action, to plan, to communicate, to avoid leaving our loved ones in a similar predicament. In the end, the aftermath of Bob Hope's passing is a poignant reminder of the importance of preparing for the inevitable. The pain, the conflict, and the public spectacle could have been avoided. His legacy, which should have been a source of pride and unity for his family, became a battleground instead. The feud over Hope's estate serves as a cautionary tale for all of us. Let us take heed and let us learn from it. Let's ensure that our legacy is one of love and unity, not conflict and division. After all, isn't that what we all hope for? While we can't change the past, we can certainly learn from it. And this holds especially true in the case of the legendary Bob Hope. His life was a spectacle worthy of the silver screen, but the drama that unfolded after his passing was a tragedy that no family should experience. As we delve into the mistakes and missteps that led to the Hope family estate feud, we find that many of these issues could have been avoided with proper planning and open communication. Let's explore some of the key lessons we can take away from this unfortunate family saga. First and foremost, the importance of having a comprehensive and updated will cannot be overstated. It's not enough to simply have a will. It needs to be regularly reviewed and updated to reflect the current state of affairs. Bob Hope's lack of a clear, updated will led to confusion and disputes among his beneficiaries, causing unnecessary strain and conflict. Creating a trust could have been another effective strategy to ensure a smooth transition of assets. Trusts can provide a level of control over how and when the assets are distributed, and can also offer certain tax benefits. They can be particularly beneficial in cases where large estates are involved, as was the case with Bob Hope's multi-million-dollar estate. Another crucial element that was missing in the Hope family's situation was clear communication. It's essential to discuss your estate plans with your family members to ensure that everyone is on the same page. This can help to prevent misunderstandings and disagreements down the line. Bob Hope's failure to communicate his intentions clearly led to a lot of speculation and assumptions, which only fueled the family feud. Additionally, seeking professional advice is always a wise move when dealing with estate planning. Lawyers, financial advisors, and estate planners can provide valuable insights and guidance to ensure that your estate is handled in the most efficient and fair manner. They can also help to navigate the complex legal and tax implications involved in estate distribution. Lastly, it's important to consider the emotional aspects of estate planning. It's not just about the distribution of assets, but also about preserving family harmony and legacy. In the case of Bob Hope, the family feud not only tarnished his legacy, but also caused a lot of emotional distress for his loved ones. So, what can we learn from Bob Hope's mistakes? Well, the importance of having a clear and updated will, the potential benefits of creating a trust, the need for open communication, the value of professional advice, and the emotional considerations that come with estate planning. With proper planning and communication, much of the strife could have been avoided. Let's strive to learn from the past to ensure a better future for our loved ones. After all, the greatest legacy we can leave behind is not wealth or fame, but a family united in love and respect. Estate planning isn't just for the wealthy or famous, it's a must for everyone. It's a common misconception, this notion that estate planning is a privilege reserved for the likes of Bob Hope or other Hollywood stars. But let's clear the air, shall we? Estate planning, at its core, is about ensuring that your wishes are fulfilled once you've taken your final bow. It's about making decisions today that will shape the narrative of tomorrow. And trust me, you don't need a Hollywood Walk of Fame star to make those decisions. You see, it's not just about who gets your grandmother's antique clock or your collection of vintage records. It's about setting the stage for what happens when you're no longer able to call the shots. It's about providing clear, concise directions that leave no room for interpretation or worse, family feuds. Think about it. Every time you've avoided a difficult conversation or a potentially awkward situation, you've essentially passed the buck to the future. And when it comes to your estate, that future is your loved ones. By not planning, you're leaving them with the daunting task of sorting through your affairs, often during a time of grief and loss. But there's good news. It doesn't have to be this way. You can take control. You can shape your legacy, and in doing so, offer your loved ones the gift of clarity and peace of mind. Estate planning is as simple as having a will, establishing a power of attorney, and outlining your healthcare wishes. It's about open conversations and making your wishes known. It's about setting your loved ones up for success, not leaving them in a lurch. So whether you're a comedy legend like Bob Hope, or you're just an everyday person who's worked hard and cherished your family, estate planning is for you. It's a must. It's a responsibility, it's a gift. Remember, a well-planned estate is a gift of peace for your loved ones. We've learned a lot from Bob Hope's Estate Feud, haven't we? It's a story that paints a vivid picture of the importance of careful estate planning and the potential pitfalls when these details are overlooked. We delved into the life of Bob Hope, the star, the family man, and the head of a family entangled in a bitter dispute over his legacy. His story serves as a cautionary tale for us all. It's a reminder that fame and fortune can't shield us from the repercussions of inadequate estate planning. The early years of Bob Hope's life, his rise to stardom, and his family life were all part of a journey that shaped him. But it was the latter part of his life, the beginning of his estate issues, that has left a lasting mark. The aftermath of his passing was a tumultuous time for his family, filled with disagreements and disputes over his estate. It was a time that should have been spent reminiscing about his life and legacy, but instead it was marred by legal battles. We dived deep into the mistakes made in Bob Hope's estate planning, or the lack of it. It's not about pointing fingers, but about learning from these mistakes. A reminder that a clear and comprehensive estate plan is not just for the rich and famous, it's a must for everyone. But it's not all doom and gloom. We also discussed how these issues can be avoided. By planning ahead, by having those difficult conversations, by putting it all in writing, we can ensure a peaceful future for our loved ones. So, what have we learned from Bob Hope's Estate Feud? It's that estate planning is crucial, regardless of the size of your estate. It's that clear communication and documentation can prevent family discord. It's that our legacy should be about love and memories, not about disputes and disagreements. So if you found this video insightful, make sure you like, share, and follow for more celebrity family feud estates. Let's learn from the past and plan for a peaceful future. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more insightful videos.